Shalom, everybody, and hope you're having a good week. This is Rabbi Stephen, Rob Shmuel, Rashbi, and just getting caught up ahead a little bit with this week's portion. Um, Going on vacation for a week, and I want to make sure this is a vacation. Kind of OCD here, um, trying to make sure that everything is taken care of. So when I get back, I can just hit the ground running. Also, want to make sure that you folks, there's continuity. Okay. So this week's portion, Korach. Korach, yes, the madcap minister, the laughing Levite, the man who would be high priest. Here he is, your favorite, mine, Korach. So not the type of introduction you'd expect from a rabbi, is it? I know I'm a little different. I know I'm a little quirky. Um, and it's the way I look at Judaism. I like to have fun with it. In my mind, when you're really serious about something and you really get involved in it and it really means something and you take it to heart and you integrate it into who you are, then you just want to have a little fun with it. It becomes yours in a way, which is sort of my purpose, my goal, and delivering these various what I call my 10-minute Torahs for you. See, I gave a little catchy name, so it sounds kind of fun because it is fun. Greatest compliment, one of the greatest compliments I've received is from a former bat mitzvah student who said that I made Judaism fun. My response is, after thank you very much, that really kind of humbles me, is it is fun. It's just so awesome to hear talk about these Bible stories, these stories about the Torah, how Judaism came to be, which is really what Torah is about. People say it's a history. Not necessarily. It is, yes, kind of a history of the Jewish people, but in my mind, it's more the history of Judaism. And as we get into Numbers or Bamidbar, we see the challenges that our leaders had to face, and it's challenges that we see. Okay, so in this week's portion, we are still the Jews, the Israelites, is still reeling from being condemned to die in the wilderness, to die out in the wilderness. And what happens? You get this guy who is a pedagogue who likes to twist the truth, spin the truth, probably the first time in recorded history when we do that. Now, today, I don't want to get myself in trouble, or maybe I do, it's just who I am. We see a lot of that in politics. We see people just, da da da, and wait a minute, how'd you go from here to there? And people like, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. And that's what happened with Korach. Same thing. The people are upset. They're going to have to die off in the wilderness. Never mind the fact that they're completely ignoring reality. They're completely ignoring the fact that God has carried them on the wings of eagles, brought them into freedom, signs and wonders, wrought the plagues against the Egyptians to defeat them, to take away their motive, to motivate them. The fact that he let them cross, God allowed them to cross the Sea of Reeds in safety. God brought us water when we needed it, food when we needed it, even gave us meat, shelter, all of this. And people are still questioning. And they're still upset. They didn't take a look at themselves, and this was their character flaw, and say, "Wow, I guess we weren't God. We're sorry. Which, I guess we weren't up to the task." They're still complaining. So along comes Korach, a Levite, a cousin of Moses and Aaron, and starts inciting the people, using this as an advantage to himself, an opportunity. Why are Moses and Aaron in charge? Okay, maybe Moses is a prophet, but what's this about him picking his brother? What's wrong with me? And by the way, did Moses actually hear this from Hashem originally? Notice I'm avoiding pronouns here. Not that I want to be woke, but to me it's a matter of respect. I could very easily, and I'd be satisfied with this, say I'm a man, so I see God created us all in God's own image, so I'm a man, I use the pronoun he. Right? If you're a woman, you want to use the pronoun she to describe God, go for it. Because it says in Genesis, chapter 1, God created man and woman, male and female, and they used the his image. Now in Sefaria, that website, sefaria.org, that's got all the Jewish texts, they've actually got a version of the Chumash, of the Torah, that is pronoun neutral. Now, to me, that's not a big deal. It's a big deal when you make a big deal out of it. That's, in my mind, when it becomes a big deal. So there it is. Okay, so here's Korach inciting the people to get them on his side because he wanted to be in power. Moses and Aaron, then this is what differentiated them. Moses and Aaron really had a heart. Moses, yes, started out being, well, why are you choosing me? And I can't speak. And, nobody likes me in Egypt. And they want my head for, whatever. And God's like, just go and don't worry. Just go and go. I'm telling you, I'm God. Go. And now Moses has become extremely humble. After working with God, after working with Israel and being their judge and being their prophet, he's developed this humility over time. Aaron was known as a peacemaker. There is a midrash, a folklore that says that when two people were upset with each other, Moses would go to one and say, hey, he's very upset that you guys aren't talking. Go to the other one, oh, he's very upset that you guys aren't talking. Now they're talking. So there it is. So that was Aaron, the great peacemaker. That's why he was suited to be the high priest. He had that humility and the love of his fellow Israel. Korach wanted to be in charge. And there are stories. If you look at the Art Scroll Chumash, if you look at the Sansino, the Hertz Chumash, I was just corrected today that it's not the Sansino Chumash, it's the Hertz Chumash after Rabbi Dr. Joseph Hertz. I'm not really clear which comes first, Rabbi or Doctor. They've told me, I forgot. That's just the way it is, I guess. But Rabbi Hertz basically goes on a little bit more and says, who is this guy Korach? Well, he goes to Moses and Aaron, tries to make them look like idiots, says, okay, so the commandment says we got to put a blue thread on the tzitzit. What if you have a garment of blue threads? Do you still have to put that one blue thread in amongst the tzitzit? And Moses and Aaron are like, yes, you do. That's the commandment. Trying to make them look, trying to demean them, diminish them, right? Oh, okay. What about this woman? Poor widow, she had this land and she's eking out a meager living when along comes Aaron and says, oh, the first 3 years you can't touch the plants and, the produce of your new trees. And then the 4th year goes to us. And then after that, we want 10%. So the woman just can't make amends. He sells the land, buys a bunch of cattle, and there's Moses asking for the firstborn, And he's trying to make it look like these guys they're selfish. They don't know what they're doing. They're in it for the glory. So Moses says, okay, here's what we're going to do. Take your incense, your censer pan, offer incense to Hashem, and let's see which censer pan, which incense Hashem accepts. And Hashem just annihilates them. Annihilates Korach, opens the ground, swallows him and his 250 followers, sends a plague to the people that were going to join him, and that was it. And that's our triennial portion for the week. There was other rebellions. Then there was a matter of should Aaron be the high priest? Let's take a staff and let's see of all the tribes and let's see whose staff grows the almonds. And it was Aaron's staff. So again, another divine proof that Aaron and Moses are the true leaders. So, in terms of the idea of Korach, there's an interesting codicil to all this. There is a psalm that the Levites would recite. Of course, they recited all the psalms every day, but there was a specific psalm for that particular day. And one of the reasons they did that, besides honoring that particular day of creation with the theme of the psalm, was let them tell them what day it was, right? Keep track of the days. They didn't have calendars back then. You couldn't just get on the computer and say, let's see, my watch keeps time, and keeps the date and the date. No, so the psalm for Monday, Yom Sheni, it's the second day of the week, Yes, it is. Sunday, what we call Sunday is Yom Rishon because Shabbat is the culmination of our week, right? So Monday is the second day of the week, Yom Sheni, and the psalm is a psalm from the sons of Korach. The sons of Korach were very devoted. They didn't buy into what their father was doing and they distanced themselves, which is interesting because when it talks about the commandments, that God visits the sins of the parents to the third and fourth generation. It's not that he's holding them accountable, it's just that they're so close to the parents, kids imitate their parents. And it takes maybe 3 or 4 generations to get out of the nasty habits of not obeying Shabbat, not doing the commandments. But Korach's sons were very devoted people. They were very devoted Levites. And Psalms, I believe it's 45 to 49, those 5 Psalms are Psalms that they wrote. So sometimes the apple does fall far from the tree, and good for them. And we honor them, not just for being Levites and writing those Psalms, but for the fact that they saw the truth with a capital T. Okay, so Shabbat Shalom in advance. And as always, thank you for listening.